What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nia Williams, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, it is a channeled message, and I'm just here to let y'all know to always keep in mind that transitioning, shifting your life, shifting your paradigm is a process that is very slow. When I say very slow, I mean very slow because it takes a consistent amount of dedication and consistency to actually change things, especially when your program has been something that has been in your mind or has been programmed to you for decades. I'm talking about years after years after years of being on the same program, on the same time, on the same fucking behavior. It takes time to get about that shit. And that's all we got in this world. That's all we got in this time. That's all we got in this life is time. All right? So when you go out and you experience life or you experience new things or you come across new people and what they got going on and you're mixing lines with people, always remember everyone's on a different time. Everyone's on a different vibration. Everybody's on a different vibe than you are. Not everything that goes on around you is an exact mirror to what you're doing. Sometimes it's a polar opposite. Sometimes it's to show you that people in this life are not on the same vibe as you. It's here to show you that not everybody's here on the same mental space as you are. Sometimes those experiences become lessons. Sometimes those experiences are just experiences, you know? And we can't hold on to those things and bash ourselves behind it because, oh, I didn't see this or I didn't see that and I didn't realize, and just beating yourself up for not really understanding how the world works. I know that everybody has their opinion, everybody has their perspective, everybody has their way of viewing things, and that is totally okay. It is totally okay to have different perspectives, but baby, what are you on? What are the things that you are on? What are the things that you are dedicating your time and your focus and your energy into? And when you look around and you see other people are not on the same time with you, that is where you know where the boundary lies. If you are in a space where you're constantly grinding towards something better, that you're in your creativity or you're in your money, you're in your bag, or you're saving to invest into something great, or you're shifting into a new job and you're just starting to get a hang of being in this new environment and you need to take things slow, these are the things that are a priority to you because you're in that space. And you see that somebody else doesn't have the same priorities as you, does not have the same drive as you, doesn't have the same focus as you do. It is not to bash that person because they don't have it, but they're just in a season in their life where they just not operating in that space. And that is okay because people are on different times all the time. And that's the beauty of how the universe works. Everything is operating on different times, on different frequencies and different realities and different vibrations at the same time. So you might be tapping into something that is godly in your ascension and in your vibration, but if the person that's next to you isn't tapping in with, no, hold on, let me take that back. You tapped into your godly side on your vibration. The person next to you can be tapped in the godly side on their vibration, but it doesn't mean that they're not tapped in. It just means the way that they're tapped in is on a whole different vibration than what you are tapped in onto. It doesn't mean that what they tapped into is less valuable or less godly than what you got. No, it's just different. It's just different. And that's one amazing thing that I love when I come in contact with different empaths in life and I see that they're just as tapped in as I am, but the way they express it, the way they go about it, the way they choose to channel through those types of godly powers is different. I don't shame nobody for doing that shit. I'd be like, oh shit, you got the same download as I did, but the way you got it was so different. You had to go through XYZ. That's cool. And sometimes y'all might have the same message or y'all might have the same download, but the way that you process the information, that time duration is different. It might take you a couple of weeks or a couple of days to process something that takes the other person weeks or months or sometimes years to process, and that's okay. Everybody's operating on a different time and on a different vibration. So this is my reminder to you to always keep that in mind, that things are constantly changing. Things are constantly different. Things are not always the same. And sometimes we get so accustomed and so used to things being the same all the fucking time, going through habitual behaviors and patterns all the fucking time, that we don't realize that sometimes people do change after certain experiences. And in our mind, we're like, now they're going to go through the same thing. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to do this, that. That you don't know. And that's the beauty of the chaos, is the unknown. Things are unknown for a reason. Things are unknown, and you are blinded to certain things for a reason. Some of those things require education. Some of those things require experiences. And sometimes those things require excess cash. The 3 E's. See, if y'all listen to my last podcast with us reading about Robert Kiyosaki's book on investing, you would know the 3 E's that I'm talking about. And you know the depths of how important that shit is. But you have to understand that coming into this new wave of your life and coming into this new wave of abundance, prosperity, peace, whatever time that you're on, it's just new. Keep in mind that other people are also operating in a new vibration too. People are constantly changing. People are constantly evolving. People are constantly getting into things that they love to get into. So you might know somebody since middle school, since elementary school, since high school. And your version of them in your mind might be this nice, cool, collected, calm person, or they're funny, or they're all this type of things. But remember, there's 10, 15 years of experience in between those times that can change people. There's 20, 30, 5, 6, 7, 9 different years of experiences in between the time that you last talked to that person and the time you talk to that person now. You have to approach the situation and approach the conversation very delicately, because people, like I said, are always changing. People are always setting new boundaries for themselves. People are always adding more value to their life, or figuring out what their core values are, figuring out what they want to do with their life, and making mistakes and accomplishing new goals and achieving greatness and also failure. It is a constant mix. The world is a fucking salad. And you just got to pick and choose what you want in your salad. So certain people that you might have been friends with since high school, middle school, might be the type of people that will see you elevate and be with you throughout the whole entire process. Or they might not. Some people you met 2-3 years ago, you think they're going to be a part of the journey full flush. They probably won't. You got to keep that optimistic mind open. You have to have that optimistic perspective in your mind for things to actually be different than what you thought. See, if you listen to my last podcast episode, also, you would know that I mentioned getting out of the Lululand and just getting out of your own head, basically, and getting out of your own imagination, what is causing so much toxicity in your life. You can't keep running in this circle of overthinking people's behavior when you do not even know their behavior. You have to sit back and watch sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta let the shit play out. Sometimes you gotta trust your intuition too, and sometimes you just gotta leave the shit alone. It's all up to how you are tapped into the divine, how you are tapped into God, how you are tapped in with self. You can't let other people's perspectives, biases, judgmental comments, and what do they call it? Just disingenuous intentions, malic intentions behind whatever the fuck they're doing or towards you. You can't let that shit stir your path. You can't let it stir you from where you're going, and you can't let it shift you from what you're on right now, because those are the types of experiences that will enforce change instead of empowering it. See, there's a difference between empowering change and forcing somebody to change. When you force somebody to change, you're constantly nagging at them. You're constantly bitching at them, constantly poking at them. You're constantly telling them you need to do this, 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 this. But sometimes people be disconnecting before the judgment even comes in, before the bullshit even comes in. Sometimes people be tapping out emotionally, mentally, and spiritually before anything fucking happens. So when you come in those conversations, in those rooms with people you love, and you want to sit down and talk about growth and forward movement in the relationship that you have to remember, this person's on a whole different time. Let me make sure I check in with them emotionally. Do you still got these feelings for me? Let me make sure I check in with them mentally. Are you still on the same page with me when it comes to us accomplishing X, Y, and Z? You got to make sure that this person is being 100% with you. And if they're not, it's because of the relationship itself. See, a lot of people want to be like, oh, if they can't tell me the truth, it's because of them, or it's because of this, it's because of that. No, how about we look at the relationship as a whole and realize the big elephant in the motherfucking room, which is safety. If a person cannot come to you and be honest with you about what they're going through or how they're feeling or what the fuck is going through their mind, it's because they don't trust you. There's no safety in the relationship. There's no way for the things that are heavy to be discussed, because once something heavy gets discussed, somebody in the relationship is acting out. Somebody in the relationship is calling someone the bitch and the hoe and the nigga this, and you ain't this and you ain't that. Oh, I can't believe how you did this. There's always going to be somebody that's gaslighting and trying to manipulate the situation and shift the blame onto something outside of the relationship. So, with that being said, pick and choose the type of people you want around you long term. Remember that everything is always changing. Everything is always different. And don't be afraid to get uncomfortable, because that uncomfortability is what will attract things that are more healthy and more whole for you. And I'm not just talking about sitting through some bullshit and talking shit and going back and forth with somebody. No, I'm talking about, how about y'all actually sit down and have a conversation with all the people that were involved, and let's get to the root of this and solve it. Not the surface level, let's go back and forth and say what you did wrong, what I did wrong, and what he did wrong, what she did wrong, what everybody did wrong. No, let's just talk about what we can do to change and allow other people to react in the way that they want to react. And if they don't hold themselves accountable, they don't hold themselves accountable. It is not your place to hold somebody accountable. If you know they ain't gonna hold themselves, don't force nobody to do something that they ain't open to doing in the first fucking place. Get out of that space of being in your head all the motherfucking time. Because I know for a fact, being in your head can cause you to implode on yourself. And we got enough of that shit going on. We got enough people going out here and imploding and on themselves and going through so much fucking bullshit and causing so much chaos in this motherfucking world. Crackheads, drug dealers, meth heads, whatever the fuck. People are just out here being ridiculously insane. You can add on to that pile of bullshit if you want to. Or you can choose to add into something that's good and healthy. The choice is yours. And it always has been. You can't choose. You can't make nobody else choose the decision that you want. You gotta allow them to choose that shit. Once you sit back and actually realize that your power is within what you choose to tolerate and deal with, how people move when they come around you won't matter. How they feel when they come around you won't matter. I know I'm a lot to deal with. I know sometimes it's hard for you to understand where the fuck I stand at because of the way I carry myself. That's fine. But I know what the fuck I want. And that's what you stand in. I hope this message resonated with you or anybody on this message. And I will see you guys in the next one.